Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to part 8 of this Sea of Stars walkthrough. We are on a mission to save Garl, so let's head east of Lucent into the Ferryman's Vigil. Greetings, adventurers. Seek you passage across these waters? The ferryman is a picky talker. Let me handle this. Greetings, ferryman. We need you for a hairy plan. Then show me your colored flame, or leave this place in shame. We do not know the color you require, but our destination is quite dire. Then ask me questions if you must, and information I might entrust. Look, we have to get to the Necromancer's lair fast. Can't you just tell us which color you need? Pardon my lack of understanding. It seems you erred while speaking. Fine. Navigator of bogs unknown, take us to where the walls are made of bone. Where the walls are made of bone, that is a journey many have come to bemoan. But you seem to be in haste, and this life is yours to waste. A green flame present forthwith, and I shall take you to it. Such a thing we do not bear. Would you accept delayed payment for your fare? Unacceptable are these terms, for the destination a colored flame confirms. We don't have time for this. I was saving it for something else, but you leave me no choice. Now skip the word game and use your own green flame. A coin of undeath accord? The compelled undead complies, but a one-way trip is all this buys. We can worry about how to get back once we have a soul stone. It is indeed the dead you hear, for the Necromancer lives somewhere near. Should you wish to save your hide, a green flame you must provide. Let's look around for her lair. Stories say it is extravagant. We made it to the flooded graveyard. There's a save point just above us, so go ahead and use that if you desire. And then to our left, there are a bunch of these zombies walking around. You can completely skip them, or you can fight them if you want to. It is a bit of a tough battle. Otherwise, run along the top part here, and you can go into this solstice shrine, and we will head inside once the door opens. If you go toward the right or the left side, there are climbing walls that will take you up and over. When you get to the middle, then just hop down onto the treasure chest and you can open it up for some shimmering daggers. That's a nice upgrade to Sarai's arsenal. Let's head back into the water and then go out the way that we came. From here, we're just going to stay along the top part here, running along the outside edge. There's a new monster here called a Garl. It's the guys who look like they're just kind of on their hands right now, kind of crouched over. And these guys are very peculiar because they attack quickly. Their turns go by really fast, but they can do a bunch of different things. They can use a skill called Garl, which will do one of various things. Either shoot needles down like what you saw before, it can use a lightning attack, it can send a bubble at you, it can just do lots of things. It can also heal a party member or itself. And then it has another attack called Shul, which makes it flee from battle. It can also attack its own teammates or do a physical attack on you. A very unpredictable monster. Luckily, they go down in just a couple hits, but they could be beneficial to keep around because they could do something to hurt you, something to help you, or nothing at all. They can actually waste their turn by doing a little dance. So we don't really know what to think of this guy, but keep him around and save him for later, or take him out pretty quickly. The choice is yours for this. There you see him dancing around, not doing anything. After the battle, we can collect all the monster drops, and then there's some materials over on the left side. Let's go ahead and pick all of those. Now head down into the bottom part here, and you can see someone walking around. Go ahead and talk to him. Greetings, I am the keeper of this graveyard. I suggest you turn back as soon as possible, for the mistress of the place is not fond of company. Well, that's a good warning we're going to ignore. Let's head into the church building with the green light coming out of it. Here we have another couple enemies that we've seen before, so we'll just skip this fight and then continue on. Let's go up the rock wall, and that will take us outside of the church. Then we can hop down and go around to grab a treasure chest over here at the end of the red carpet. Now you can hop down the opening on the right side, and that will allow you to walk across the beams on the ceiling, and then you can go over to the treasure chest on the far side. When you open up the treasure chest, you get a new recipe for a hearty stew. Now let's hop down and then go back up the same rock wall that we climbed earlier. And now we can hop down and go up the pathway. From here, we're going to hop down and then go over toward the land, hopping up, and then follow the path around. Here's the same guy that we talked to earlier. You should heed my words, young adventurers. To anger the mistress is to put oneself in danger. Well, we will yet again ignore him. Running around, we can see a couple enemies up here. If you do run away from enemies, you can kind of get them to look away, and then you can back attack them. It's a nice way to get an early advantage in the fights. Well, we're skipping that one because we've seen all those monsters before, and then we're going to go around and collect all the loot, and there are some materials over on the left side. Now continue down the path until you jump into the water. There's a raft here, and if you climb up onto it, you can use the Mistral Armlet to push yourself around with the power of wind. So that's kind of nice that you can move around to the different little islands. If you climb up the one nearby it, you can find a save point and a campsite. So let's go ahead and use those facilities. Now let's hop onto the raft, and we're going to push it around. We want to go toward the left side, so make sure that you're facing the right because you go in the opposite direction. If you go over toward the top left corner, you'll see that you can hop up and grab some mushrooms here. There's also a rock wall that you can climb that will take you up to the left. There's a little cave here. Now I'm going to show you this even though we can't really do anything with it yet. We'll just skip the battle that we encounter inside of here. And then if you climb up the rock wall in the back, you'll see some runes on the top, and there's a treasure chest hiding back there. We can't do anything about this just yet, but we will come back to this later on. I just want to show you that so that you can put it in your memory for later. Now let's get back onto the raft and push it over toward the right side, and we can line ourselves up with the ground and then hop up for a little cutscene. This has to be it. Okay, she really does have style. Stay vigilant. Romaya might be home. On that, you would be correct. I believe that is far enough. We need a soul stone to save our friend. We're going in. Then we are at an impasse, for I am bound to serve the mistress and on death. She resurrected you from your ashes? Who are you? Generations ago, I was known as Duke Aventry. That is all I can remember. I am now but a wandering spirit, forever lost in longing. Despite this cruel fate, I am blessed by ignorance as to what became of my beloved family's mansion and of the good people of Lucent. But I digress. The spectral chains that bind me to the mistress beckon. Please understand, this brings me no joy. On guard. Alright, Duke Aventry, kind of a mini-boss. He's not very tough. He really only has 2 attacks that you have to watch out for. One of them is just a physical attack where he will bring his big club back and wait a lot longer than what you think he's going to. It makes it pretty hard to dodge this one. And then he will swing down and do pretty good damage if you don't block it. His other attack is to do a big spinning tornado where he bounces around the screen and hits all of your party members. That one does decent damage to everyone, but nothing that you can't really get through. So I'm just going to use Moonerang this time to disable it. Next time around, I don't have enough time between the moves to stop it fully, so you'll have to see what that move looks like. So here you go. I really don't have a good way to stop this one unless I were to delay the attack with Sarai. I'm just not going to worry about that though, and I will make sure that Valere is all healed up, and that will allow me to survive this next attack. So it's only 1 hit for that whole thing. You can block it by waiting until the very end, like when he gets back to the middle at the end of it. It's kind of hard to dodge though. If you want to completely negate that though, all you have to do is use the Lunar Shield skill from Valere. It's the new one that we just picked up, and that will completely block all damage for that one for just that one time. And then it does use up a good chunk of all of her MP, so you won't be able to do it every single time unless you use some items to make sure that she gets all of her MP back. And we'll just get through the rest of this fight using physical attacks, boosting for some extra damage, and using skills that's necessary to try to block his attacks. So that's all you gotta do. I'm just gonna let it play out, and I'll see you on the other side. There you have it, not too bad. I believe the mistress would rather not lose her bodyguard. You may pass. But before you go, may I have a word with the Blade Dancer? Your speed is impressive. Have you ever tried leaning into it more fully? Here, let me show you. Zale learned combat skill Dash Strike. Thank you for the insight. That's bound to come in handy. As expected, you are a natural. Safe journeys, young ones. Let's head over toward the right side, and if you hop into the water, you can go between these two little islands, and there's a rainbow conch box hiding very sneakily in the back there. Let's go back over toward our raft, and then we can head back toward the center island. We just want to do a little healing after that fight, and you have to make sure that the raft is actually lined up pretty well. It is a little bit picky to get it all into the right position, but once you get it, then you can hop aboard the main island, and then we're just going to go over toward the campfire and then rest up. Let's hop back onto the raft, and we're going to go back to where we fought Duke Aventry. After climbing up, we can go up and into the big doorway. This takes us into a new location called Necromancer's Lair. If you hop into the water, there's a treasure chest right in front of you behind the sunken pillars. That's Romaya's hairpin, another thing we can give to Teeks to learn a story. Here's a new enemy type. It's the teleporting magician. It's called a Mermofwiscard. It's a very strange name, and it's also a very dangerous enemy. Once it gets done with its countdown, it will launch green orbs at everyone at the same time, and it will do a lot of damage to everyone, especially if you don't block it. So those things, especially when they come in pairs, can do a whole lot of damage to you. Other than that, it's just a couple enemies that we've seen before, so we will just take them out, and then we'll be done with this fight. Let's grab the loot and then head up through the doorway. Now follow the path of red carpets around, and you will get to the top part. You can hop onto this platform, flip the switch, and that will take you up and then over toward the left and then up again so that we can continue. There are a couple ambushing enemies that pop out right here, so you can try to get a back attack on them. Didn't work so well for me, but they're pretty easy to take out. Okay, continue up the path and through the doorway. Now we get a little cutscene that explains that there are 3 green skulls at the top, and they're going to different places around here. Each of the green skulls will interact with a bone pile and create a new, very tough enemy for us to deal with called a Revenant. So we have to defeat all 3 Revenants in this area in order to continue. Luckily, there's a save point and a campfire nearby, so let's heal up before we fight the first one. Let's go down the path, and you can get this guy to run after you. Then you can try to trick him into a back attack. Again, didn't work for me. I was a little too impatient with that one. But the Revenant starts off with a whole lot of HP, like 225 HP. And that's way more than you've ever seen, probably, from any normal enemy so far in the game. It does a countdown and then just does one normal attack. It begins the fight with a shield, and up until about half health or so, it's going to keep that shield to keep reducing damage. Now, you can use one of Sarai's skills to back attack him, and that will do lots of damage. He's weak to that. But once you get him down toward lower health, he will break his shield and go on the all-out offense. Now, whenever he attacks, he's going to do it 3 times in a row. That can do a ton of damage to us, especially if we don't block it. So we're going to try to finish him off as quickly as possible so that we don't have too much damage coming in toward us. So you can see, even with blocking that, we still took 44 damage. That was pretty big. So let's keep on going. He's almost dead. And once this fight is over, then we will see the little cutscene that appears after it. The green skull appears up there. You're supposed to go ahead and grab that. I'm just going to save it for dramatic effect later on. Then we can head back toward the campfire and the save point just to heal up again, because we're going to go into another section here and then we will move on. Just going to do a little bit of cooking while we're here so that we have some more items. These papillotes are pretty good because they can actually revive a KO'd character, and that's really nice for us to have. With all of our preparations complete, let's head over toward the right side. We can hop across the ledge, pick up a bone on the way, and then go into the water and into this doorway on the right side. Keep going up and around, and that will loop you around to these beams that you can walk across. Just make your way slowly across them, and then when you get to the other side, head over toward the right. You'll see some enemies that you can fight, so let's go ahead and do that. Just going to skip this fight because we've seen all these guys before, and then we will continue on from here. Let's go up the pathway, and there's a little switch here, so we'll flip the switch. That moves the two platforms around. Then go up and then jump onto the platform and flip the switch to go over toward the right side. There's a ladder in the far right corner. Go ahead and climb up that ladder and then go up to open a treasure chest with a spectral cape inside of it. That's a pretty good piece of armor that one of our third party members, either Sarai or Garl, can wear, but the other two characters can't wear it. Then drop the ladder, head down, and then go all the way back to the switch. Go ahead, flip that. Now we have to run back to the ladder, climb up the ladder, and then go all the way over toward the right side and back down. We're just bypassing the platforms right now. And then we're going to hop onto that platform and flip it. That will take us to a new area where we can go to the bottom left corner to grab another treasure chest with an obsidian ore, and then over toward the right side following the red carpet. From here, you want to hop down the steps, and that takes you to another fight with some enemies we've seen before. So let's go ahead and take these guys out as quickly as possible. After the fight, we can go up the ladder on the left side. That will take us to the upper part, and then we can hop down to the middle part and go into the big doorway. Run all the way up and you'll see another great big treasure chest, and when we open it, we get something called a grapploo. The grapploo allows us to press square to throw out the grapploo. It can attach to grapple points, enemies, and climbable surfaces. Enemies being the key thing there. It guarantees that we can get a preemptive strike or a back attack, whatever you want to call it. So all you have to do is face one of the little platforms that pop up when you step on those runes, and then hit the circle button to shoot it across. And that will allow you to navigate the world a whole lot better than what we used to a few minutes ago. Let's head across the bone wall, and then we can go down, stepping onto another rune, shoot across here, and then we can step onto yet another rune at the bottom, and that will allow us to go back toward the center area. From here, we're going to go over toward this platform, flip the switch. Now we can climb up the top part. And remember when I said that you can attach to enemies? Well, here's an enemy that's on the other side. The game will keep teleporting him right in front of you. So let's go ahead and grab onto him, and that will pull us across the gap and getting into a fight with these guys. So once they're done, then we can grab a rainbow conch chest on the far side of this area. And then there's some berries and finally a switch up here. That will allow us to grapploo back across the area, and then head over toward the left side, down the ladder, and now we can get across the gap toward the north, and that will take us up into the next section here. We're going to fight another revenant in this area. He's kind of tough, just like the other one is, so go ahead and use your best attacks. I found that using the sun ball is a great way to do lots of damage, especially after he drops a shield. After that, another green skull appears at the top of the stairs, so run up there and grab it for a little cutscene. Here you can see the green skull gets placed above the door. That's 1 down, 2 to go. We just haven't picked up the first one yet. So there's really only one more revenant that we have to fight. When we leave the room, another platform will raise up, allowing us to grapple over the gap and to go back toward the center area with the save point and the campfire. So let's do just that. Let's head over there, do a quick heal, and then we will proceed on to the third area, which is significantly longer than the other areas. Let's head down into the water, and then we can swim over toward the left side and go into the big door on the left. Here's some enemies that we've seen before. We'll grapple into them to start the back attack, and then we will just finish them off as quickly as possible. From here, let's proceed up, and we're going to go through the narrow pathway. You can see a sign that says press circle to grab onto the point. What we want to do is just aim straight up, and we can grab the hook, and that will allow us to walk across the pathway, flipping a switch and opening up some stairs on the left. Let's climb up those stairs and then go over toward the right side and into the door at the top. There's a treasure chest right in front of us, so go ahead and grab that for a new weapon for Valere. This is a nice little upgrade for her. Now we're going to grapple over toward the side and just kind of go around the outside of the room. We can grab a picnic basket for a new meal for us, grapple across the gap by grabbing onto the enemy, and just finish them off quickly. Just the 2 enemies in that fight, so that one's pretty easy. Now let's grab some materials and then head over toward the left. We can grapple onto the platform in the middle, and then go diagonally to the left to get up there, flip the switch, and then you can head over grabbing a bone on the other side. Then go back to the middle, grapple now to the bottom left, and then go across. And if you're quick enough, you can actually get a grapple starter attack against these enemies before they notice you. And then we'll take them out pretty quickly. After the fight, head down and flip the switch in the bottom right corner. That will move the platform. Now you can grapple over. And when you get to this point, you think that you have to go all the way up and flip this. You actually don't. Instead, what you want to do is, after coming up the stairs, go over toward the right side, walk across the tightrope, and then flip the switch, which will actually lower something that was blocking the platform from going down. If you flip that switch at the top first, it just goes down, bounces off of it, and doesn't go anywhere. So once that barrier is removed, then the platform can go down all the way. Let's head over toward the left side so that we can grapple down and then toward the bottom left. We get into a fight immediately with some familiar enemies, so let's take them out quickly. Now we can go around and grab the goodies as well as some mushrooms in the bottom corner, then go up the far left side to flip a switch, which will send the platform down into the previous area. Now it's just a matter of going over toward the right side, following the path around, and we can head down. So that was a whole lot of work for one platform that we need to progress, and there's more that we have to do now. So let's head all the way down to the bottom and now go toward the left side. That will allow us to grapple over to the platform we lowered and now go down. There's a few enemies as we go down and toward the left. Just make sure that all of your health is filled up nicely, because we don't want to get into a fight unprepared, and take out these enemies quickly and then move on. Let's go over toward the left side, down the stairs. There's some materials just at the top of this section, so go ahead and grab those. And now go up the far left side. There's a very long hallway taking us to a door. Now we have to go all the way up this hallway, and then all the way toward the right side, and down a whole bunch of stairs. Once you're on the far side, keep going down, and then you will see a couple things at the bottom here. There's an enemy waiting for us, so when we get to the bottom of the stairs, grapple over into him, and this fight's very easy because it's only just this one enemy. Should only take you a couple hits to get rid of him. Let's flip the nearby switch, and that's going to move the platform over so that we can grapple onto it, and then over toward the right side. Flip the switch here, and then climb up the bone wall on the right. Now grapple back toward the platform and over toward the left side, and we can get into a fight and take these guys out before proceeding on. Yet again, let's flip the switch, which will create a bone wall on the open spot. Now go over toward the left side, flip the switch, and that will move the platform to a better position for us. We can go over and then down toward the left for another switch, which will move that whole platform to the previous area. So now we have another way to move in the first area. We can grapple across the new arm that just came out, and that will take us to the rock wall or the bone wall, allowing us to get to the top, and then we'll run all the way down the far left hallway. Now that this platform is moving into position, we can get to where the third Revenant is hiding out. So let's run around up the stairs and go over toward that platform. We'll grapple onto it, then go across to the other side. Make sure that all of your characters are healed up, because it would be a real pain to die here. The fight consists of the Revenant, a Garl, and 2 of those Magician guys. I would think that taking out the Magicians first is the best move, followed by the Garl, and then saving the Revenant for last. You really don't want that Revenant to start going full-blown attack mode on you while the other enemies are around too. Well, after that fight, I got a level up, so we'll just assign our points real quick, and then we can go up and grab the green skull from the top part. There's the green skull. Let's go up and grab it, and we will get a small cutscene showing that the first green skull, or the one all the way on the far left, is being put into place. Just one more to go. There's a treasure chest in the top right corner. What you have to do is go to the bottom part here and then over toward the right side. That will take you through the bone pile, and eventually you can work your way up to open this treasure chest. It contains a Revenant armor, which is a good piece of Solstice Warrior armor, so either Zale or Valere can equip it. And once that's on, then let's head over back through the path that we took through all the bones, and we're going to go back down toward the bottom section. Now you can use the grapple to start moving between the different platforms here, and what you want to do is keep heading toward the right. This is a dead end over there, so go over toward the right side, and then we can go out the bottom right exit. Now we're back in the central part of this hub. Let's hop up here and then go down toward the campfire, and we can rest up, and if you need to, go ahead and save it, because we're going to go into the final part where the boss is waiting for us. Now we're going to go up the path, and we can go grab that last green skull, and you can see it go into place, and we get the cutscene with us standing right in front of it. I just thought that would be a little bit cooler than watching it without us in the frame. Once the big door is open, then we can go around and up into the big door. Proceed up for a cutscene. So that's what all the ruckus was. And what brings you to my delectable estate? We're looking for a soul stone to save our best friend's life. Oh, I suppose I should simply give you one then. I have a better idea. How about the 3 of you join my army permanently? Not happening. Oh, look at you, taking courteous erotesis all seriously. You barged in here uninvited and caused irreparable damage to my property, did you not? Seems only fair you would compensate me for my troubles. Don't get overconfident. They are fully trained solstice warriors. Ha! This is getting interesting. Are you like those Selena and Luan wannabes who thought they would ascend by fighting me? What are you talking about? An irrelevant matter, much like your very selves. Let us begin, and please don't worry, you won't stay dead for long. Here's Romaya. She has a couple things that she can do. If you look to the right and the left sides of her, she has a bone pile and a flesh pile. The bone pile she can use to summon revenants. That is a very bad thing for us. And if she summons something out of the flesh pile, it will just be a zombie that we've seen before. Unfortunately, she does call out the revenant. However, what we're going to do is just ignore the revenant because we want him to keep his shield and therefore he won't be doing a whole lot of damage to us. So we don't want to do AoE stuff as much as we can help it. What we do want to do is focus on destroying those piles, starting off with the pile of bones and then moving on to the flesh pile if we really want to. The flesh pile isn't as necessary to get rid of, but the bone pile is certainly something that we want to get rid of so that she can no longer summon more revenants to fight us. We're just going to deal with the revenant doing its lower amount of damage with its shield, and we'll just keep it going as far as we can with focusing on that bone pile and then trying to also get rid of her ability to cast spells against us. If her skill bar has 3 different emblems, that means that she's going to try to do a summoning from one of the piles. If it has no symbols on it, that means that she's going to summon a giant eyeball to shoot directly at one party member. And if she has 10 different emblems on her skill bar, that means that she's preparing to do an attack called Fellfire Rain, which does tremendous amounts of damage to everyone, especially if you don't block it. It just sends a big green balls of fire down from the top of the screen, and they will fall down and land on each party member at the same time. So if you don't block that, you'll get tons of damage. So what you want to do is keep a little bit of MP in reserve for Sarai. That way, if you haven't been able to break all 10 of those symbols on the skill bar, you'll be able to disorient her with Sarai, and that will give you a little bit more time just to break that. You won't always be able to do that because sometimes she only has a countdown of 1, and you're definitely not going to break all 10 of those emblems in just 1 or 2 attacks. So let's just go through the rest of this fight, and I will see you on the other side. Her physical appearance changes very slightly as you fight her, and when it gets into critical health, the change is super subtle. If you look at her now, she is above critical health, she is floating more straight up, and her hair is a little bit back on the side closest to the screen, and that reveals more of her face. But when we attack her next with Zale, you'll see that she enters the critical state, and that causes her to kind of slump forward a little bit, and her hair falls in front of her face just a little bit more. So that's really the only tell that I can see for when she gets down to critical health. Well, I think this fight has dragged on quite long enough, so let's assassinate her. And we get the "now give me that" trophy once she's defeated. Children, I swear, I am not about to die over a stupid rock. I yield, for now. Here's your soul stone. Got soul stone. Now go away. What now? We also need a green flame, otherwise the ferryman won't take us back. You do want us to go, don't you? The nerve. The disrespect. Grab a bottle from my desk, then get off my estate. Got green flame. Count your blessings. If we meet again, it won't be a simple 3 versus 1. It wasn't 3 versus 1. You summoned. Leave! Okay, we got a soul stone. Let's hope we're not too late. Hang in there, Garl. We're coming. Now that we're back outside, let's head down to the campfire where we can save and heal. Now follow the path to the right until it takes you down out the southern exit. Then it's just a matter of running through all of the hallways, and that will take you back outside this whole place. We're now back in the flooded graveyard, so let's talk to Duke Aventry one more time. You have returned with a soul stone. Quite impressive, though I suppose this means the mistress will be quite upset with me. The exit path is to the right. You will have to make good use of your grapploo. I hope you can get to your friend in time. Farewell. Well, he's not so bad after all, is he? Let's head up the cliff and then we can grapple across. Now we just have to head south until we can get to the bottom part, then grapple across the gap, and this will take us all the way down to the very bottom. If you hop down into the water, you can actually go talk to this clam and you'll get a couple seafoods out of that. Otherwise, there's some mushrooms on your left and another plant on your right. Then keep going down and you can grapple across. Now go up all the way and that will take you to a secret cave. What you want to do here is just start on one side, it doesn't matter. Pull the switches down with the grapple, and if you can get both of them down before one of them goes back up to the top, then you get a chest with an enchanted scarf in it. So that's another accessory that you can have. And now we're just going to go out the way that we came. Just keep going all the way south, and that will take you down the rock wall, and we can head all the way over toward the right side where we can talk to the ferryman again. But before you do that, stop a second and take off the accessories and the armor that you have equipped to Sarai, because she won't be needing it going forward. A green flame you found, I see. Aboard my raft, I welcome thee. So, how does this work? It's pulsing. Maybe if I just... It worked. Great. Sarai, how long do you think the poison will... Sarai? She left. We didn't even get to thank her. What a strange character. Might as well get comfortable. This could take a while. And then you were all, well, if I don't get a sword, how will I do backflips? You're the one to talk with your bulwark of the innocence thing. I'm so glad you gave that up. To be fair, we did help a bunch of people already. Sure, there's just no need to act all grand about it. If we're ever to ascend as the solar one, I will be the spark. Oh, stop. I was 10. Valere, something happened when he got mind controlled. What do you mean? I don't understand it. It was like a floodgate opened in the pit of my stomach. Like when we were first learning magic? Sort of, but way, way stronger. Do you think it was the Dweller? No, it didn't feel evil or even bad. A response to seeing Garl in danger. But I couldn't let it in. I feared it would overwhelm me. Maybe I could have helped him, but if Sarai hadn't shown up, Zale, we're all safe now. That's all that matters. I think that was my prophecy. What do you mean? The Elder Mist. He told me I had potential, but first needed to stare at the night inside of me. I think this is what he meant, the thought of losing a loved one. I felt the power, but I couldn't actualize it. I wouldn't overthink it. Prophecies are not swayed by the attention we give them. Aren't you curious about yours? He said I might be able to create paths on water. What does that even mean? Yeah, talk about cryptic. The way I look at it, it's going to happen or not, no matter how much sleep I lose over it. You have such a relaxed outlook. I wish I was born on the winter solstice too. Haha, you and Erlina sure have more intensity. I suppose you and I even each other out, in a way. That's part of why we make a good team. I guess. Or maybe it's because stealing my live mana helps you show off. Haha, forget it. You do it way more than I do. Garl! Hey, Welcome back, Garl. I just had a really bad dream, you guys. You're safe now, buddy. Don't worry about it. What happened? Remember how we couldn't stop that villager from entering the mansion? It's a bit blurry, but yes. Well? Whoa, you mean she could kind of teleport? By carving magic gates out of thin air somehow. This is too much. Hopefully we'll meet her again. I've got to see that. Welcome to the first stage of grief. Please have a seat and I will be right over. Thank you, innkeeper. We won't be staying long. Why, of course not. Hey, that's the headmaster's voice. They're here. Well, look who made it here on time. Hey everyone, it's so good to see you. The eclipse is upon us. I should provide you a briefing. We wouldn't want one of you to end up mind-controlled by the Dweller, now would we? Oh, that happened already. Excuse me? We went into the woods, and the Dweller mind-controlled me, but an assassin used paralyzing poison to buy some time, and they went to fight a Necromancer, and... A Necromancer? You mean to tell me Zale and Valere fought Romaya and lived? We had help. These two, I swear. No matter. We must leave for the Dweller's lair at once. I will explain on the way. Last chance to make preparations. Let me know when you are ready. Alright, well that is going to do it for this part. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure that if you like this video, you hit that like button. And also, if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to join our community by hitting that subscribe button. And then don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of Sea of Stars. Are you playing it yourself, or are you just watching my playthrough of it? What do you think about the story, and the music, and the fights, and the bosses, and the characters? There's so much to love about this game, and maybe some things that you don't appreciate. Let me know all those things. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Have a good day.